Recording in progress. Hey man, so it's 10 o'clock, brother. I just want to do my brief introduction. We're gonna get right to it.
Okay.
So first off, I want to welcome everybody to the Pattern Disruption Podcast. This is the show where we break through the noise and dive deep into the stories of those that's shaking up the game. I'm your host, Eric Rhymes, and every week I'm gonna bring you raw, real conversations from entrepreneurs, athletes, entertainers, politicians, and creatives, period, who literally have created a way for themselves in business as well as in life. If you wanna find out how to rise above the rest, you're in the right place. Let's disrupt some patterns and start the show. Stacii Adams, what's up, my brother?
Bob, what's going on with you?
Oh man, I'm doing better than I deserve. Better than I deserve. I want to get right to this, man. First off, if people don't know who you are, give people a brief introduction on who you are, man.
I'm Stacii Adams. I've been singing a long time, been in the music industry a long time. I've crossed the paths with some of the best from the Bruce Carbones, the Tony Mottolas, the Corey Rooneys. I've done shows with the best from 50 Cent on down to Jagged Edge on down to Calvin Richardson on down to Anthony Hamilton on down. Just I've been doing that's a lot, man. I can go on and on. 30 minutes, but I got to speak fast. But what's going on with
you? Okay, well listen, man. So I met you back in 2010. Dave came down. He actually used to talk about you before I even got to Atlanta. But came down to Atlanta to visit Dave. He was going through a lot with his health, and he had made some friends, and you were definitely one of the ones he talked highly of. I remember we rode out somewhere, and you were playing a song, and it was called, what was the name of that song that you were playing?
That song I was playing at that time in 2010 was called Sit on My Face.
Sit on My Face.
Yeah.
How did that song go? Just give me real quick. You ain't got to go all the way through it, but how did it start?
When you can't sleep at night and your body's so uptight, come over and sit on my face. That was back then, though. That was then. I was a real fool with it then. A lot of the stuff these guys doing now, I was really before my time. Me and T-Pain dropped the record around the same time. He had in love with a stripper, and I had worked that pole. And I had, he signed a record deal, and I didn't sign the deal. So, at the end of the day, I still did some great things, got like 15,000 a show. A lot of people don't know that part of the story. They only look at this part of the book. But that was back then when I was, wild and singing in the cut, I call it.
Okay. Well, and then that time your name was Jay Harden.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you were going by. And then so from that point, you decided to transition. I know we're jumping a little further ahead, but you transitioned from rap to R&B to rap to R&B and Southern Soul. Mm-hmm. What is Southern Soul?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Honestly, I started out with R&B. I was in a group called LJ, me and Lou Battle. We had a deal with one of the biggest radio promoters at the time, Teddy Ashton, Cool Joe Records. He started the label, he signed us, and we was off to the races. We started out, we talking about, I didn't know the struggle coming into music. We moved straight to Buckhead, we're getting paid $400 a week. All we did was song music and go to the studio and work out. With Marvelous McIntyre, who worked with New Edition. He did all the artist development for Bobby Brown, New Edition, Johnny Gill, you name them, the whole bunch of the boys, ABC back in the day, all those guys, he was doing their artist development. So I came in the game at a high level, with this Southern Soul and R&B, I look at them as the same. I don't see a difference because a lot of people say it's a difference, but Southern Soul could be considered old school R&B, if you say anything for us track wise and some of the tracks, then you know R&B, rhythm and blues were created because it was a derivative from the blues. So everything came from the blues, well, gospel rather, and then came on up. So Southern Soul and R&B kind of the same. They sit in the same cup. But people try to separate them because you got some people can't do R&B. You got some people can't do Southern Soul. But it's how much more expensive to do R&B, real R&B, than to do Southern Soul. It takes a lot of spinning and a lot of big mixes to be able to, you know, you got Tyrese, you got Anthony Hamilton. You don't get no more Southern Soul than Anthony Hamilton. Okay. Being from the South and got soul. To me, that's Southern Soul upscale. Anthony Hamilton, somebody like that. Calvin Richardson, he they call him the Prince of Soul. He's in the Southern Soul, but he's an R&B artist. But he's both. So I don't know the difference. A lot of people may get mad when I say that, but I don't know the difference. They can't sit up here and tell me and you the difference. If you pull up Johnny Taylor when he died, they said R&B. Marvin Cease, they say Southern R&B singer Marvin Cease. So these people that they stand up to, then when you start getting down to the blues singer, you start getting the Mel Waiters and people like that. You know, a lot of them was considered blues and R&B, so rhythm and blues. So I don't know what Southern Soul is. I just know it's something that people trying to turn into a fad that's always been here. I remember back in the day, my cousin then booked Sir Charles 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Sir Charles was considered R&B. If you put Sir Charles,
I've heard of Sir Charles. He did some stuff with Boots.
Right? Sir Charles was considered R&B. Coming up when he dropped his album, it wasn't Southern Soul, and they started calling him, and he started coining the phrase the king of Southern Soul. You know, because he's from the South. If I'm not mistaken, he's from Alabama. If I got that wrong, Charles, you know, hey, you can holler at me, man, whatever. But Southern Soul, he's from Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, and so he got soul, but he was in the R&B market. Sir Charles, the only Southern Soul artist that they call Southern Soul that's in the genre now to go platinum. To sell 1 million hard copies.
Of what song is that?
What he had is Anybody Lonely. That was one of his big records. But his whole album sold 1 million copies. So as far as that's why he's considered the king of Southern Soul, because of the numbers and the things that he accomplished during that time. Like I said, right now, you know, everybody throw kings and queens up in the air, but you know, the queen of Southern Soul to me would be Fantasia. But they wouldn't say she's Southern Soul because she's not in the underworld market. But when you start talking about soul and from the South, but then you got Nelly Tiger Travis, you got Westlove now, you got what's the name? You got quite a few. Miss Jody, Karen Wolf. You know, a lot of those artists are going back and forth on who may be the queen of Southern Soul. You know, so that's up in the air. Because some artists you could take to a place, those same artists, you might book them and take to a place, you might get 50 people. You know, you might take them somewhere and get 200. But, you know, like I said, you know, it's hard to get one Southern Soul artist that can do 1,000 people by themselves just off paying at the door. We all trying to still make it to that apex. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I know I book the majority, a whole bunch of Southern Soul artists, R&B artists. So I know it's one thing to say what you are, but then you got to have people pay at the door too. So that's a big difference.
Okay, so before we move too far ahead, man, tell me a little bit about, because I hear a lot of maturity and like an old soul when I talk to you, and just hearing that your accent, that South accent. Tell me a little bit about the upbringing. Tell me a little bit about how you raised, bro.
I grew up in a 2-family home. I had a mother and a father. I don't have that solid story of growing up with just a mom, but I grew up extremely poor and didn't have. My dad went through some things when it comes to drugs and alcohol and things of that nature. But I grew up in a 2-parent home, so I was actually, most of all of us black folk was taught morals. You know, we try to act like we wasn't taught morals and wasn't taught things because that's the way to try to make it now. But I don't tap in and buy into that bullshit there. End of the day, but I grew up without, so that increased my hunger. So, you know, I had hunger. Some people just ready to eat. It's a big difference. With hunger, you'll do any and everything to make sure you eat. If you just ready to eat, it's a difference between hunger and being ready to eat. Ready to eat, you can just go in the closet and cook you something. But hungry is you got to go outside and find you something to eat. So I think that instilled a lot into me. I played basketball. I've done music. I've done so many different things. And being around people, you start understanding the problems that we go through as black people, mainly because jealousy. You know, when you say Southern Soul, that's probably the most Southern Soul, probably the most jealous industry I've seen, even though it's the smallest one.
Your camera is shaking real bad. I guess it's on your leg. You got to get
Okay, is that better there?
Yeah.
So so it's
Yeah. But you say Southern Soul is a lot of envy and jealousy in it.
Yeah, because it's such a small, compact group. You know, you got to think. I came in the game. The first artist I booked was Tucker, Montgomery, Alabama. Me,
So
Lou Battle, Tucker.
you're a promoter and an artist.
Yeah, I was doing it, but I ain't getting these niggas now another goddamn dime. I ain't. But they don't return the favor, so that's over with. There's over with. They all the people that I booked and I've done shows and done business with, they didn't return the favor. And really, technically, some of them ain't no hotter than I am. Some of them ain't. You know, they online they might have all these views, but I know if you can book somebody and they have 75 people show up, I done seen that, I done did it. But a lot of them, you know, the people I booked and did business with, you know, there's only one person that did business with me and booked me back. That was Calvin Richardson. He did book me and we done business together. But the majority of everybody else, they just want to get what they can out you. Go and do the show, whether you have 10 people count their back in, get in the car and haul ass. So at that point, I ain't even considering, you know, that's over with for me booking, because all you want as a promoter just want the fair chance to be able to try to win. So in trying to win, you want a fair price. Most artists, you know, feel because they went to a show, they make their fair price based off of being with a collective group. You can't give a fair price if you got 5 artists on the show, right? And you got 2,000 people there. So now, even if you turn around and you divide that 2,000 people, right, by five, you know, guess what? That means each person might have brought 300 some people apiece. So you ask yourself, in this is everything's about the numbers. So you start gouging your numbers. A lot of times, all the promoter want to do is have a chance to win, and they have a hard time winning nowadays, because I know with me, I've had people call me and offer me 5,000 and 6,000 to do a show, and I told them I'm not worth that. It take a lot to tell a promoter you're not worth that, because not worth that, not meaning I'm not worth it because of my talent level, but if you're trying to win, it's a good chance, ma'am, you're gonna lose with me if you give me $6,000 today. I've done that before in the past because it just didn't make sense. They make economical sense. Most artists won't do that. They just gonna grab what they get they 20, they 15, they 10, they 30, whatever, and go watch promoters suffer. I'm not in the promoters suffering. So I really, being a businessman, I look at both sides. I'm also get what I can get out the deal, but I'm gonna do it the right way.
No, that's real. You saying that? I actually booked an artist out of Detroit. You don't hear much about him no more. I ain't gonna say his name.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. You booked him. Hey, well, baby.
I'm gonna say this. He was out of Detroit. I'm gonna say his name, because why not?
Okay, yeah, say his name.
K-John.
Okay.
I booked K-John back in 2013 for a show. And I didn't have my chops. I didn't know nothing about booking. So I didn't have back end there. That was a part of his rider. He wanted me to have the back end already there. So when he got to the show, he knew I was green. He got his money, and he said, well, you know what? There's no back end here. I can't even use my band. So he paid his band right in front of me and it actually come out being the money he paid his band was from a show that they previously did. So he knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? So he paid his band right there in front of me and told me I could do it off a disc. No band. I've been selling that I'm gonna have a band there. But anyway, we was doing a record-breaking event, so it was good. I got to use his name, but that just goes to show, like you say, you came up front and told the person that was the promoter, I'm not worth that. at this moment you're gonna lose. That was real, bro. That was real.
But and that's one of my faults. Sometimes being real is a fault because people are trying to find something to find negative against you to tear your character down when you're too real.
Yeah.
So that's why the majority of the bullshitters get farther than the real people, because the bullshitters don't care. You know, real people will tell you the truth. And sometimes when you real people, it's hard for them to find a flaw. They create one. So me, my one of my biggest character flaws have been being too real. And at that point, now at this point, it ain't no more too real. It's like you have to revert back to a immature mentality to deal with us. With Negroes, you have to revert back to immature mentality. So, you know, when you do that, it's more respected when you have a sense of dumbness. People like the dumb, man. They don't like the intelligent. At least because you got to think, majority of people are not on that level, right? So if you have more people that's on a lower level, they're gonna attract to lower level type thing. Like it's nothing about none of the gang stuff. Even when gangs were prevalent, I was always a stand by myself type guy. When they wanted to jump me in the gang and initiate me to come into the gang, I always thought that was a crock of shit. I never bought into it. It didn't take no teaching. I never bought into conspiracy. I never bought into if I'm gonna get conspiracy, I might as well participate. I ain't gonna never catch conspiracy charge. I'm gonna participate. I ain't gonna never be the man that come up and get 30 years just for standing by talking to Ed Ryan. If I'm gonna be around you and money gonna be made, I'm not gonna even play. Conspiracy will never be a charge on me. It'll always be he did it, whatever it is. It ain't gonna be no conspiracy. You got conspiracies that mean we think you did it. We got enough fact to think you did it, so you going to jail because you were talking to that man over here and you were standing there. So hey, no. And you know the new thing is not everybody talking and telling. There used to be a time, pretty sure back in your day, and back in my day, when a guy go to prison and come back from prison and then tell he come back to a car, a few dollars, and everybody waving their hand, you a real nigga, you a real cat. Yeah, nowadays, boy, you tell, boy, but that's the thing, to go in the go.
That's another reason why I didn't want to bring up old boy's name. Because you don't want to make that a habit, but that's a real situation. He knows what happened. I let him know. But anyway, I want to get into Atlanta a little bit, man. You out of Atlanta?
Yes, sir.
But born in
Milledgeville, Georgia. A population about 42,000. You know.
Okay. And what type of influence did Atlanta? Because it's known for the music culture down there. You know, Atlanta has actually been the front runner for years now. But how has Atlanta influenced your music as a rapper and a singer?
You know what? What Atlanta taught me was it's almost like what New York taught me when I was there for a while. A lot of it is you got creative people around. It's a melting pot from people from other places that come to Atlanta and they melt there, and so it's cultural. But it's a lot of facade, man. It's a lot of fakery, man. I remember just being around, seeing people, man, selling the image. I never understood, and Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, Negroes selling an image that is not real. I have never faked it till I made it, bro. I've never understood that concept. Fake it till you make it. Basically saying, act like you somebody you're not until you that person you want to be.
Well, I got to disagree with you on that because I just had a quote on the screen. I got some affirmations that I'm going to be putting up throughout the show. But one of them was thoughts become things. So you become what you think about most of the time.
Yeah, but that ain't fake it till you make it though. That's different. What you saying that what I mean by fake it till you make it. Now what you saying is 100% correct. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Okay. What I'm saying is if you watching me and I come to you and I say I can fix your car, Eric, I do transmission. I'm a licensed transmission tech. And you buy it. I got a fake licensed transmission tech on the wall. And I go up under your car and I do your transmission. Yeah, you pay me and you pull out the car parking lot and your car break down.
Right.
So faking it till I make it puts out the false perception, which makes people perceive me a certain way, so they deal with me according to who they think I am when I'm not really that person. That's what you call flexing. That's what you call lying. Exactly. So now thoughts is, I think I'm the best singer in the world, or I make the best music. All I have to do is go in the studio, create the music, and let the people determine and believe in myself, and my beliefs inside internalized. Then on the exterior, I bring that to me that I'm looking for. But fake it till you make it in Atlanta and a lot of other places is, I'm going to basically lie to you, pretend I'm something I'm not, until I become that, or until you help me become that. That's called manipulation.
Right. Well, if you think about it, a lot of artists, when they come in the game, prime example. See, I'm a little too real sometimes too, but a lot of my equipment that's in this room is not mine. It's but I use mine on the last show. I need to be better. I ain't got the budget right now, so I used my boy Aaron, which is he's a tech guy. He came in, set me up with better lights, better camera. Now
it looks good too.
Well, thank you. So am I faking?
No, you're doing business, because what you did was went to Aaron and said, "Hey man, I'm doing a podcast and I need a little better equipment to try to come over better. So is there any way possible we could do something the way I can use yours?"
Right.
You were honest. Faking it till you make it is saying, "Hey, Aaron, man, I got this going on. You let me use your equipment, man. Oh, man, I'm going to do this and that. It's going to be man, I'm going to get 50 million views, and I'm going to make sure to say you was a sponsor, man, and this and that, this and that." Well, all you had to
now I'm finessing at that point.
Finessing. So all you did was, as a mature businessman, and sometimes this mentality comes when we mature, but I was like this ever since I was born. It ain't nobody come over here and say I can fake it until I was making it. Nobody. Because I was taught, when I used to go around H. Rap Brown out of Atlanta, West End, Jamil Alameen, I went around third row guys that didn't fake it till they make it. Yeah. Because they was mature. Now, I don't know what they were when they were younger, but when you're around mature people all the time, you get a sense of reality, and a lot of times you at another level mentally. So what you did was what I call good business. Okay. And you had a friend or associate or whatever you consider him to say, "Hey, man, I'm willing to help you out. Come by and get this, man. And I wish you the best." So that's two brothers coming together to help you get to where your goal gonna be. Right. So with a lot of these manipulators, man, faking it till they make it. Well, bro, let me tell you something. I got people in the Southern Soul world. I done lent 5,000 to, 10,000 to, 30,000 to. No, listen to me. And if I say their name now. But see, right now, since they still in the middle of paying back, since they still leaking money over, I've lent money to people that were faking and fronting. Right. But then when you get in the thick of things, they all the way in the mud. And so at that point, now this is where the trickery starts. "Hey, man, I'm going to be able to pay you back in 3 weeks. I got this big show going on, and you're going to be good." Right. 3 weeks come, man, I ain't sell the tickets I thought. But these guys, I should have never dealt with them anyway, but I already know they would come with game. But now the old me, honestly, I would have equipped myself a certain way and would have already done something to them. But the mature me is allowing them to see themselves, to know you don't have anything, you struggling, and you came begging to somebody actually who you were jealous of, who you talked about, who you whispered about, who you said negative things about, and then realize that same person is going to have to be the person to step up to help you. I'm talking about, bro, you go, I can name it 10 or 15 people, about 15 people I actually loaned money to because they was in dire need. And I never said their name, because where I'm from, if you help somebody and you lend somebody something, you be quiet about it and you allow them to pay you back like they said. But these people don't have the same principle. Well, while we're talking about that, man, that'll transition right into the next question. What's been your biggest challenges going from being a rapper to being a singer? No, because I got money with every one of them. As a rap singer, I got it with $15,000 a show. As a Southern Soul R&B singer, independent grinding, I get anywhere from $3,500 to $6,000, sometimes $2,500. I'm gonna get it out the mud artist. I'm the artist that if you call me, sit down, dog, sit down. I'm the artist that if you call me and you tell me your budget, and it makes sense, I'm gonna roll with it because I understand as a promoter, you trying to win and trying to make something happen. It ain't no guarantee that you're gonna win or lose, but it ain't none of it been hard for me because I've already, let me take my glass off. I've always focused on making great music. I'm not gonna make no terrible music, but the only thing about making great music is once again you deal with the jealousy and the envy of those around you because everybody. It's not about having good music to get paid. It's about timing. Because you got people, man, in the market that can't total tune in the bucket, making thousands of dollars, $20,000 to $25,000 a show. So it's just time. All this is about timing. So me personally, I put my fate in the hands of the people. I don't give these Negroes no power because at the end of the day, God is my sustainer. The minute I give a man power, I take my power from God. The minute I give you power and make you feel like you can control anything I'm doing, I'm taking power from God. So that ain't my whole thing, because like I said, most of these people are not on the spiritual and mental level that I've been anointed with. So I understand that these are peasants. These are pure peasants. Sometimes a peasant can run into a gold mine. A peasant can. So just because you have more money or you get more money and show the real, you have two different worlds. I sure wish we had more than 30 minutes, boy. Well, today our first day, so we can just keep talking or go off in 30 minutes. But listen, this is the whole catch.
Man.
This is the whole catch, Ryan. So they need to see where we coming from. This is the whole catch. You got the real world, which is where we're at, and you got the internet, which is pure perception. Yeah. I live in two different worlds. My real world, right? My real world, I got 20-something houses in the real world, and not no monopoly houses. Yeah. These houses you got to really pay taxes on, you got to really do business on. That's the real world. On the internet, these folks go sit in somebody else's house and do a whole vlog saying they do real estate and come get my course. Right. But I don't know nobody that's really, the only person I know that's really doing number that's out here talking is Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone, basically, he's going into the urban market heavy because what he's doing is pooling together and getting the best of the best, because we like seeing the shock value of Rick Ross sitting up there and this other person sitting there beside him talking about investing. But bro, there's so many ways to make money in the real world. I like the real world more than the internet. The music world is cool. That's my internet life. So if a person think they blocking me on the internet, that don't mean shit, because my real life is something else. I got 2 college degrees, 2 of them. I got 2 of them. Yeah. So, and a lot of times people who are in music don't like talking about their educational stance, because we'll talk, play like you're single, act like you hard, and make people think you got this going on, fake it till you make it. But no, my real world, I can go get a job making $125,000 a year. A job, a regular job, sitting behind a desk. I got the keys. So the keys, the most powerful person in school, me and you talked about this off air. Whenever I ask somebody who is the most powerful person in the school, a lot of people say the principal. But when I grew up, I thought it was the janitor, because I seen the principal forget his keys before, and the janitor have to come let him in the door. The man who got all the power is who can open the most doors. Real talk. He might not have the power to function in that room once the door is open, but all he need to do is be able to open the door. So my whole goal in life has been to be the janitor of life. Have keys to different things. So if you try to lock this door on me or change my lock, I go to the next door. I function in there. You change that lock on me while I ain't there, I go down to the next door. You change that lock. So we as people, as Negroes or niggas, because they like to hear that kind of talk, we have to realize and understand that you have to get many keys as you can in life to be able to open those doors that other people may lock against you. Right. And once you're able to understand that concept, I never had no real job, really in my life. I've always done business, but I went and got to school because I played basketball, and I wanted to, and that got me in college. But I figured I'm gonna get my degree because it's something else I can have just in case I need to ignite that key. I don't even know where my degree's at. I don't even know where they located. I'm serious, they somewhere, but here nor there, Eric, I commend you on what you're doing, man. But people got to come over here. The whole thing is to be able to inject some good into these niggas' mind. Because a lot of these niggas, man, they distraught. The thing about music is this. I told artists this, right? Make sure you have great health insurance, life and death insurance, If you got any kids before you go in the studio, please spend that money on your kids first, then go to the studio. If you're behind on child support, you ain't got no business going in the studio until you catch up, if that's your child. A lot of times, so now we have a few people die around. They got to do GoFundMes. They got to do this and that, but they be on the internet, man, in Maseratis and Mercedes and Phantoms. You telling me when you died, you didn't have $50. That what fake it until you make it get you. If you don't make it, then what happens? What happened when the man faking to make it and he don't make it? What he done live their whole life doing?
What you got. So there's a whole nother level of game. You come expecting a lot about music, but you get a lesson in life. In a lot of these podcasts. Who instilled a lot of this, a lot of these things into you? Like
one of the most important pieces in a man's life is his daddy. Okay. My dad. I was lucky and blessed to have a dad, even though he had some drug and chemical dependency things going on in his life that I witnessed. That was every man needs some type of male figure. You don't have to be your biological dad, but somebody that can pull your coat in between the ages of about 6 and 12. Because by 12 years old, you're going to be hell in high water if you ain't learned.
Yeah.
And I was a rebel that had a daddy, but you got to think, my dad would take me around H-Rap Brown in the West End. I was going around different people. I was going to churches with my grandma. My dad didn't keep me spiritually protected, meaning I had a chance to learn about people like Dr. Malachi Z. York, people like Honorable Elijah Muhammad, people like the preachers, Benny Hinn, and people like that. I was able to get a piece of everything from Jehovah's Witness. When you I was a 7-day Adventist for a while. They had the best bean food I ever ate because I was post. So I was joining. I go where the food at, but I got a chance to go on a Saturday. I was going to church every Saturday, and one day I never forget it. I started playing basketball, and on Saturdays you're not supposed to participate in these kind of activities as a 7-day Adventist. But all my stuff was falling on Saturdays, so I went and talked to Pastor Howard. I had grown about 6'1" then. I'm gonna show you how economics can make people forget about God. I was playing so good. He was like, Pastor Howard was like, man, I heard you really, really can play. I said, yes, sir, but our game's on Saturday. He said, well, sometimes you can ask God to forgive you. Because at that point, I started being like a walk. They thought I was gonna be the next Jesus Shetterer. So people have been the rules for those that they feel can help them out of their situation. So after that, then I finally left the 7-day Adventist church. Then when I went to the Jehovah's Witness church, I never could figure out why it wasn't no windows. I always asked the pastor, I'd be like, well, what if it's a fire hazard? This is a fire hazard, ain't it? How y'all was able to build a church with no windows?
Right. Yeah.
But then I was always got a question, but back to the music, because all of this tie in. It tie in.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you who influenced you in the music, like coming up.
My daddy, he sung.
Okay.
See, you know how some people will say Luther. Now these people that once I got introduced to them, I idolized and I liked what they were doing. But my first introduction to music is anybody's first introduction to music is their parents. So somebody say A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P. That was the first influence.
Right.
Okay. Now, who made me want to imitate? I think I listened to Bob Marley, playing to a lot of different music, but the church choir is the next one. I was in the church choir, like most of every other 95% of the black singers that sang. We go sing for God, and then I sung a little bit of quartet. But then when I kept getting paid chicken and grits and eggs and drinks on van trips, that wasn't gonna go too long because I knew that wasn't the real singing. And then at the time when you're a younger artist, we didn't have a testimony as a young quartet group because the in quartet gospel, who got the testimony is gonna tear the doors off. When somebody say they got hit by a transport truck and the doctor said they have a 3-day left to live, and then they stand up out their wheelchair singing, you can't compete with that.
You can't compete with that.
I was exposed to a lot of different stuff here. I'm talking about exposed. Like I said, that's why when I was able to say, when I said Dr. Malachi Z. York, I'm pretty sure you done heard of him, right?
Yeah.
So when I said that, a lot of people, or say, well, hey, this and that, this and that, this and that. You know, I know what he got convicted of, but I wasn't there. I don't know what it happened, but I do know he used to have 10,000 people out there on 400 acres. Stevie Wonder been out there. Wesley Snipes been out there. N.D.I.R.E. been out there. Music Soul Child been out there. He had some powerful people walking around the pyramids. Now, when they, you know, but back to the music thing. What you saying?
I'm gonna say a few names, and I want you to tell me what's the first thing come to your mind.
All right.
Pastor Troy.
Innovator.
Okay. Have you ever worked with Pastor Troy? Because Pastor Troy I used to like Pastor Troy back before, you know, before the Atlanta really hit. Pastor Troy was like
we did a lot of shows together. I think, but with Pastor Troy, at some point in time, you have to cross over. So you have artists that come like, if you listen to Jesus rap, you can tell that a lot of his ad-libs are influenced by Pastor Troy.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. But Pastor Troy had the whole South on lock, really, for a lot of these guys. For T.I., for a lot of Pastor Troy had the game on lock. So he didn't get his just due. Even now, he don't get the respect he get as one of the pioneers of rap. But Pastor Troy is an innovator. He came with everybody know, my nigga, what you say? Ain't no more playing G. That was a theme song for a lot of people that played sports. But Pastor Troy, innovator. Who else you got?
Titty Boy. Did you freeze up?
No, I didn't freeze. Titty Boy, I would say a great rapper, smart businessman. Okay. He went from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz. That changed his life.
Why do you think that was a big part of him?
A lot of time association brings on assimilation. You know, he was associated to a group, and that was the image he had. But when he separated and went 2 Chainz, it allowed people to see his whole essence.
Yeah.
So I think by doing that, that was a great business decision, and he can rap. And he's a smart businessman in the city of Atlanta.
Okay. Future.
He the best opportunist ever walked through Atlanta.
Okay.
Meaning he was a feature on a record, racks on racks on racks. And he swung off of that record so good because he had a hell of a feature and it was a big record. And his opportunity, he took it and he grabbed it and he squeezed it till nothing was left. So he's a great opportunist and he's a great vibe. He's one of the greater vibe rappers. Vibe.
Okay.
Not lyrics, but vibe. Who?
Diddy. Yeah.
I've met him before. I would say confused. I would say confused for the simple fact, Diddy has no real talent. So in order for him to be able to get to where he got, he latched on to real talent. And it's not so much a gift if I walk and hear you rapping outside and I pull you to the side, give you a record deal and take you somewhere where somebody don't know. Because everybody know talent. I don't care what nobody say, everybody know talent. It ain't nobody got no special gift when it comes to, oh, he got talent. Everybody know real talent. They just, anybody who got some sense can say, oh, he got it. So I think the confusing part about Diddy is he spent his whole life trying to find out who he is. I don't think Diddy know who Diddy is. Once you come up with a persona, his real name is Sean Combs. Think about this. Diddy, they not saying no Sean Combs. They saying no Diddy. So when you get caught up in your 2 people, your 2 personas, you got Sean Combs. We don't hear much about Sean Combs till it's time for Coke. I don't think we hear Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. So that moniker that was in the imaginary world where you still can make money, did some things that people talk about, questionable or whatever the case may be, and that man that went so high to where, guess what? When you get a certain level of money, you got to have a clean slate. People think the bigger you get, the lonelier you get. That's why I say it's lonely at the top, because technically, when you get a certain level, You can't have people around you because it's too easy to be pulled down at any time. The truth, we're in a world now, Eric, where the truth, the lie is the perception. This is the perception world now. Everybody who got a Facebook page, right? They look like they're doing good. When 90% of Facebook struggling, catching hell. But they can put up any pictures they want and say, hey, life's great. God's good. Oh, man, look at this. But she ain't never seen nobody come on Facebook and say, hey, they just repoed my car, y'all. Y'all look at this. They pulling out with it. You ain't seeing people showing their credit score. I don't see no post too tough of people showing their real credit score. Not no edit now. I ain't talking about somebody that got somebody, because everything now can be fake. Actually, go live and pull up and show what your credit score is, since everybody popping like life is great. So, you know, I just think when I say did, I say confused, because he never figured out who he was. And now he never will. Because you got to think, Hugh Hefner, P. Diddy is Hugh Hefner. These are the same people. Yeah. You know, it's only one difference. P. Diddy's brand was music exec. Hugh Hefner's brand was acting and sex. That was his brand. So that's why it was so hard for them to bring Hugh Hefner down, because his brand was Playboy. I got plenty of women. This is what we do. That's his brand. That's what he was pushing. So, and he white and one black, but his whole brand was, P. Diddy brand was, I'm a music exec. Then the parties came later. I'm going to have the biggest parties, the biggest things going. We're going to turn up. We're going to smoke. We're going to drink, whatever they do. Now, I don't know what the man did behind closed door, but 90% of that stuff happened behind closed door was grown folk making a bad decision. I seen them do it, bro. I seen women go in to get a record deal and got them fuck the whole crew of people. I seen it happen. And when they don't get the deal, they go to the police station and say they were raped. Yeah. And I understand, because somebody promised you a lot of stuff and you lay down with them and then all of a sudden they pull off. I know that can be very hurtful. You got guys right now supposed to be the hardest guys in the world that actually will give up their butt and their mouth just to get money. So when you make a bad decision, don't later go down the road and say, hey, I'm gonna tell the police, oh, this is my truth. You knew the truth or you did it. So I just think a lot of the stuff that Diddy did is sad, or what they saying he did, because I don't know. Have I ever been around P. Diddy? I have been around. I've been to Justice. I've seen him and Kim Porter together. I done talked to him. But ain't nobody never gave me no alcohol and say, drink this and let's see what happened. But
you ain't never been to a Diddy party?
I've been to one in LA. But you know, it was a regular party. Yeah. You know, I didn't see nothing that was deemed devilish, you know, because I left early, you know, in my this is the whole catch. if you had a party and you don't drink, you don't smoke.
You don't drink or smoke?
No.
Okay.
So when you at a party, I'm gonna show you what I mean, E. When you at a party, right? A lot of people think selling their soul is actually going to meet the devil or sitting down, signing a sheet of paper. This is selling your soul. Me and my cousin, Mr. Raw, I had a show in London, England, right? Mm-hmm. We went all the way to London, flew over. They gave me 10,000 pounds and they picked me up in a stretch. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put some of that footage up. I still got it, so they know I ain't faking the time to make it. So they picked me up in a stretch Bentley and drove me away from the airport. So we get to the spot. The guy handed everybody a beer. I said, I'm good.
A beer?
Beer.
Okay.
I said, I'm good. Then now you got to think, I'm from the streets too, and I'm tall. I ain't finna drink nothing you give me with the top already open anyway, if I did drink. Yeah. So you give everybody a beer. They drink it. Then they pull out the weed. Everybody smoking. Then they pull out the powder bag. Because in London, you know, weed ain't really that big. Powder is bigger than weed in the UK. You know, the weed big in the United States, but powder is the thing over there. So after he put out them three things, he said, you the level-headed one, So you the one level-headed, right? I said, well, you know, if that's what you want to call it. First of all, I'm in London, England, right? Yeah. I don't know nothing. I'm in your country. I'm finna drink what you give me, smoke what you give me, or whatever. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. So you got a lot of these people sell their soul, because my whole goal, every businessman goal is try to pay you as cheap as I can pay you, to try to get the price to nothing if I can. It's nothing like free labor. The world is built on 400 years of free labor. We see what free can do. Can you imagine? So with free labor, we see what that can do, 425 years. So the whole goal for everybody that's trying to come up is to get the cheapest price they can get.
Yeah.
So when you come and I say, I want to sign you to a deal, man, and you say, okay, and on the paper, I got you on the contract for 100 years. I'm getting you a pen off every album sale. Right? Now, this is the whole trick behind it. Most artists say, that's a terrible deal. But then now, if I'm going to put $500,000 in you, what happens if you don't blow?
Exactly.
Now, people that don't know taxes and dumb niggas always say, man, use a tax write-off. No, it don't work like that. You still lost the money. You're just trying to not pay the taxes on the money you lost. You lose $500,000, you lose $500,000. You lost $500,000, that's gone. So you say, well, I'm going to put this person on a deal so bad, if I do win, because there's high risk I'm taking, I'll get plenty of it off it. But what if I lose? No artist think about what if the person investing in me lose. See, me, I'm probably about $2.5 million in myself investing.
Your camera
I'm better. Huh?
Your camera's shaking again.
I said I'm about $2.5 million invested in myself.
Okay.
Invested in myself. Not counting what Mo Lewis did when I had a deal, what Teddy Ashton did when I had a deal. And they lost. We didn't make them no money. Me and my partner, they lost. So with $2.5 million on myself, I don't think there's too many independent, especially in Southern Soul, can say they spent that much on themselves. I got the receipts to prove it. You got to think. So even now to be doing a record with Anthony Hamilton, Calvin Richardson, people like that, so it's like the whole thing about it is understanding, bro, this thing ain't easy. And selling your soul is I pay you anything other than money. When I find out you like a bunch of beer, I'm gonna pay you in Coors Light.
That's selling your soul.
Yeah, if I find out you like a bunch of reefer, I'm gonna pay you in Loud. If you like bourbon, I'm gonna get you a whiskey deal. And when it's all said and done, everybody sit back and say, oh, he did it wrong. He just got paid what he desired. So with me, they knew the only thing they could do with me was pay me fair wage. Nobody want the fair wage man around. Nobody want the man around that want fair wage. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody want the man around that's getting paid what he deserves. Okay. Even an athlete that getting all these tens of millions of dollars is not technically getting paid what he deserves. I know athletes right now that play pro football can't stand up.
Yeah. So you're saying the risk versus the reward, it should be
when the risk versus the reward come together, he didn't get paid what he was worth. I don't care if you got paid $200 million. If now your end result is at 46 years old in a wheelchair, paralyzed, almost paralyzed, you have a choice. Would you rather be in a wheelchair paralyzed from way down because your nerves and they were severed and something severed when you were walking one day up the stair, or would you rather have your health and strength?
Right.
I don't care how much money Bill Gates got, he's still getting old. He don't look 20 years old. He gonna leave him. Steve Jobs showed what happened with that. So on our way out of here, we got to understand, stop being so sensitive when you accept the bad deal. When you accept those terms. People on the job be like, man, I don't know what they doing this and that to me. Well, leave the job. I can't because I got these bills to pay. Well, that's your fault.
Yeah, that's the businessman and you talking. What are the artists? How does the artist feel? I'm
the same way. That's why I'm not where Tyrese and all them guys at. I could have been signed a record deal, man, years ago. I'm talking about, but my understanding of end result, you have to begin with the end in mind. Yeah. And like I said, everybody not blessed with a sense of clairvoyance or anointing to be able to kind of see things. You have to begin with the end in mind. Where do I want to be?
Right.
Most artists are not, they don't grow up with the proper parenting. Some of them don't have the anointing to be able to see those situations. Everybody different. But you have to begin. So I always begin with the end in mind. So me understanding I had options and that I could do more than just sing. Now, speaking, if I was just a singer and didn't have no other talents, I probably would have signed a deal. I probably would have took the chance and sold my whole publishing and everything because that's all I would have had. But when you got more things, like you do business, you do events. You went to college too, right?
No, I didn't go to college.
Okay. Well, you went to the school of hard knocks.
College, yeah. I went to a community college out here in Detroit.
So the whole thing about it is, when you get to a certain point, you start understanding, why would I want to, the majority of the artists and athletes that make all this money end up with nothing anyway. So I understand in the real world, I know people that make $30 million a year and don't even have a Facebook page.
Right.
Those people that don't come on platforms, those people that just really got businesses. So I got people like that I can call on the phone that make $100 million. They'll answer, we talk. So when we picking each other's brain, I'm picking their brain, I understand that the way you really want to move is under the radar. That's why I never really talk about what I do in my regular life, because you don't want the energies and the powers that be and the people around you to start channeling bad energy to what you're doing in your real life, because it's power and energy.
Yeah, it is.
Power and energy. So you don't want people to start channeling that energy to your real life that's really making you money, because people who have evil thoughts of you, it can affect what you're doing. That's why a lot of times people stay silent. They only deal with those that's directly in what they're doing until it comes into fruition. And then at that point, you say, bam, here I go. But other than that, they can show you, if enough people point at you saying he ain't gonna make it, it's only one thing that can deliver you, and that's the God of your understanding. Because everybody standing around you watching you swim, they're not gonna help you when you drown. They're not gonna warn you, here go an alligator, here go a shark. They're not gonna warn you none of these things. They're not gonna warn you because they're wishing your downfall. So the only thing you can have on your side is the powers that's greater than their negative energy, and that's the God source, whatever that may be, whether it's Allah, Jehovah, Jesus, God, whatever you believe in, Buddha, I don't care what he is or she is. But that source is the only thing that can protect you when everybody's saying,
man, you preaching, guy. You preaching, man.
That source is the only thing. But see, I'm sorry, I'm listening.
No, I just said I agree. I just wanted to ask you before I got too far off, just talk about your collaboration with Anthony Hamilton. You just brought it up.
Anthony Hamilton is a humble guy. That's his main attributes. He's willing to be normal. He's willing to work with the normal. He's willing to associate himself and deal with those that may not be on his level. I booked Anthony a couple of times, right? Mm-hmm. We did business together, and it wasn't the bookings that intrigued us to do music together, to do a record together. It was the fact that he saw I was pushing and that I made good music. And he said that, you got something. So that's how we end up doing. Went to North Carolina, we recorded a record called Happy Days. It's going to be dropping top of January. On a strong record. That once again, my album is called Love You Like the 90s that I'm dropping. I've been on the Love You Like the 90s tip because I know when it all said and done, nothing's going to outweigh 90s R&B. Nothing's going to outweigh it. Any party you go to, you're going to hear 90s on up 2010. That's what you're going to hear, period. For some reason, that music never die. You're going to hear Return of the Mac. You're going to hear Mary J. Blige. You're going to hear all these 90s records. So when I started saying Love You Like the 90s, a lot of people start jumping out doing it. With the Southern Soul thing, that's a part of me anyway, but that's R&B. I just make upscale R&B. I refuse to just make a record, because if somebody got a record about drinking liquor and moonshine, I don't have to make a record like that if that ain't what I want to do. I don't follow the masses to try to, because that's how you create a record that you're unhappy with. You got a lot of unhappy stars that they mad at 40-some or 50-some years old. They got if Kaya right now at 50 years old, get on somebody's stage and saying, my neck, my back. Spiritually, you're not there no more. Right. You start feeling weird. That's why I made the transition. I don't want to keep talking about dope, man. I don't want to keep talking about powder and weed, and I had transitioned spiritually. So artists become unhappy when they transition spiritually, but they stuck into having to do what they used to do at 21. Now you 50. So can you imagine getting on the stage? In no way Kai can get over here and say, she can say it, but internally, as a woman, 50 years old, going to perform, my neck, my back,
Yeah.
my pussy and my crack.
Yeah, that's like you singing Sit on My Face.
I ain't gonna do it right now.
Exactly. So
I'm past that phase.
We coming up at the top of the hour, man. I want to, for one thing, I wanted to ask, what type of advice do you have? We're gonna have to do a part 2, man. You got too much game. I thought I could squeeze you in an hour. It just can't happen, bro. But I guess, what would you say to artists that's coming into the business? You know, because people still eager. When one leave, one come in.
Get a job. Get a job. Get a trade. You see what's happening with AI, artificial intelligence. You see now that the whole machine is creating it to where humans is not needed to make money and make music, because the publishing game is real. If I can create my own music with an AI bot, that means I can get all the publishing. I ain't got to share nothing. I can get the AI bot to do the beat. I can get the AI bot to do the singing. All I got to do is I want to sound like this. Now, the only thing AI can't do is live performances right now. Yeah. So you have to make sure you got a hell of a live performance. But the first thing is get a damn job, man. It ain't nothing wrong with going to work. Think real life over fantasy. Do not let these people that's on the internet and talking about they doing good fool you because they ain't showing no bank statement. They ain't nothing but a position. That don't mean power. So get your real life together. Don't be ashamed. If I have to go hang out the trash truck, I'm gonna do that. If I got the pressure wash, I'm gonna do that. If I got the paint, I'm gonna do that. So to every artist out there listening, you can laugh, you can whatever, you can think, oh, you finna make it. 90% of the time, it's a 98% chance that we're not gonna make it, guys. Yeah. I'm gonna include myself with everybody out there. We're not gonna get to where Jay-Z them at. It's not gonna happen. We're not gonna get to where Beyonce at. Let's be realistic. So go get you a job. Go fill out an application or go to school, get your education, and use music as secondary. Music is not my first thing. I'll be a fool to let music be first. And people can listen to all that motivational talk and bullshit they won't listen to. Don't have no plan B. You better have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, and P. Because at the end of the day, this music shit ain't nothing but smoke and mirrors. But I do it because I love to do it. But if it ever affects my real life at this point in time, I take a break from it and go make me some money. Go flip a house or something. So go get your credit up. I remember one time I used to do credit years ago. I used to get artists. Show you how foolish these artists is. Every artist that I went and got some money and got their credit up, they messed it up. You start realizing, well, man, if I had just 10,000, okay, I go get your 730 credit score. You went to PenFed, they gave you a $15,000 credit card. Now here go your budget. Now they got now this is how business works. You got a $15,000 credit card right there, right? So now go get your studio time. You just got to pay on what you use every month. You got to pay upon on what you use. As long as you pay it and do right by it, you can ask for an increase after about 6 months. So I tell an artist, this at 26 years old telling these fools this. A man go get to minute, he get $15,000 credit card. Well, I'm gonna get me a little fit, man, first so I can be fresh. It's okay. All right. So I said, well, once you take that $15,000, man, since your credit up, before you do any of that, let's go find you at the time $150,000 property you can put 10% down on. And you can use your PayPal and swipe the card as a payment to me, and then you can get the money and put it down at the house and then put it back once you sell the house. Man, hell no, man. Okay. So you go do your studio time. Now you start seeing, damn, I ain't got but 11 left. Now your third payment coming up. You make the third payment. Now you down, you don't, well, man, my baby mama, man. Now all of a sudden you gave $2,000 your baby mama. Impress her. Now you down to $9,000. Yeah. Now when you get down to $1,000, you be like, man, can we get another card? No, man, because now you're showing that you're not a good borrower. Your debt to credit ratio is foolish. Nobody else want to give you anything now because your utilization is down. Your utilization is up, brother. You utilize 97% of your card, so no other bank gonna give you no card. So now I said, but you said all you needed was 10 grand, you'll be out of here. So what I've learned is most artists, you can't teach them nothing. So I don't want to talk to no more artists about no business. They're gonna do what they want to do. They're not gonna want to listen to you. So I did that for about 7 or 8 artists, Eric. Got them credit cards. Got they credit up to 730, 740. Every one of them messed it up. So then you want me to feel sorry when you come tell me, well, you're going to depend on the Lord. You're going to have to. Apparently, this might not be in his favor for you to do it because apparently you ain't did a check. And God sent a human, and even in the Bible and every holy book, God comes through a man. He comes through somebody and sends somebody to you to bring you the message.
Right.
All the great books, they can go get the Buddha book, whatever book they want. It's always somebody come as a prophet. They call him a prophet. So at the time, if I come to you and you don't have a dime and I get you $15,000, $20,000 to show you how, at that point, I'm being a prophet to you. I'm revealing certain things to you. You might not want to accept it, but I'm revealing these things. God has sent me to show you this could happen. Now do right by it so more can increase and you go blow it through the river. So I became spiritually tired of helping niggas, man. Like right now, can't no nigga call me Adam Bar now another dime. Period. I got to, cause at this point I may have to revert to 2006. And at this point in time, I don't want to be running around firing off on niggas and fighting niggas and doing stuff that I would have done back in the day. So I'm letting these niggas suffer. Period. I'm done with them. Now what you got to do when you're going through something, my thing to you is that God is putting you through a storm so that you can get stronger. I can't get in God's way because I don't want to get rained on. It's done. And this niggas watching this right now are probably looking at it, gonna look at it and be like, damn, I owe him. Damn, man, he ain't gonna let him down. It's just, so my advice to him, Eric, Mr. Rhymes, Pattern Disruption Podcast, to all artists out there, get a fucking job fast as you can or get something coming in, some revenue coming in, get a trade, sheetrock, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, get you a trade that you can always use the cut hair so you can always go get you some money. I worked in a barbershop for 2 years. Shouts out to that.
I'm a licensed barber too.
I cut hair for 2 years. Get what? All I needed was a pair of clippers on a bag.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, man, you need a cut.
How can people get in contact with you for haircuts, music, or any type of, but most of all, for that music, man, because I think they love your music.
For bookings, because right now I'm out of the lending business. I'm almost out of the information business because you can tell a nigga 1,000 things, they're gonna do what they want to do. Right. Information, they don't want to listen. The best teacher for them, let them get their ass whooped and then the ass whooping teacher. So if you want to book me for booking purposes only, you can book me at Stacii Adams. I will give you a reasonable fee. And I can't guarantee you're gonna win or lose because that, only God know that. You book me outside in that rain, we both just made a bad move. But I can guarantee you're gonna get a hell of a show. You're gonna get high energy, you're gonna get professionalism. And at the end of the day, so you can find me on Instagram at Stacii, Stacii_Adams, ADAMS. You can find me at Stacii Adams, Stacii Adams on the internet, or you can go to www.stacii.com. And remember, we are not here to play dream or drift. We have hard works to do and heavy loads to lift. Shine not in the struggle, for it is God's gift. Be strong, be strong, be strong. Whatever you do, don't be scared to disrupt the pattern. I'm out of here.
Stacii Adams, man, thank you for coming on here, bro. I appreciate you. I need like a clap. I'm gonna bring like a clap, but that was yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm here with you because guess what? We both gonna keep growing. I always have supported you, Eric. You've always been an innovative. You've always been a creative. You've always been entrepreneur minded. You've always been a go getter. You always had those tangibles that make failure not an option. See, when you're born with those tangibles that you have and that I have, failure is never the end result. But this stuff that we have, I hate to break it to people. You have to be born with it. I can't teach you drive. I can't teach you drive. I can teach you patience. But drive, patience is just sitting in park. That's all P stand for in your car, patience. You ain't moving. You ain't going nowhere. Right? The first gear you hit, Just like life is reversed. That's the first gear you come to out of park and in the car. All. Why is it you can't go to drive first? Why you got to go to reverse? Because people automatically think you're gonna go backwards.
Yeah.
Then when you go backwards, I'm gonna take you through this. The concept you got in, which is neutral. You got to hold on, put it in neutral. I might be going the wrong way. Which you just keep your foot on the brakes. Now the car just sitting in a mode where it can't move, but it's neutral. It's just like life. You don't went out reverse, you don't messed up, went backwards. Because we all start off going the wrong way. Now you're in neutral. Now the next gear after neutral is you need to hit D, drive, and get the hell on. So once you hit drive, you realize in life, in order to go forward, you got to have drive. And that is something you have to go through reverse first, then neutral, then you get to drive. It's a stage. It's the same way with a car. Ain't nobody car go from park to drive. I'm out of here, baby. I can't give them no more game. Any more game I give them, this shit I'm telling them they supposed to have to pay for. This is an auditorium speech that they pay Grant Cardone all this money. They need to go ahead and pay me where I can sit down with a bunch of artists and I can show about 30 artists one time how to get you at least $20,000 since you believe most of the artists that get that money won't even do music no more. They won't even do it no more. They just want the money. I done went through, bro. I had a 2-year span where I grossed $12 million legally. So with me, and then I went through a span where I blowed it.
Now, was it this music or was this, what was this?
Just I'm a baller. What I mean by this, I don't believe in saving money. I believe in living to the fullest, having health and life and death insurance and experiencing life, because it ain't use of saving money to leave it to no fools. A man got to be crazy, a billionaire leaving money to a crackhead. You might as well spend it. So mine was music, business, trying other stuff. You know, real estate definitely got some of that. But the whole catch is you start understanding that, and I hate to say this, Eric, a nigga gonna be a nigga. And I'm gonna go on and note. I know we passed our time, but you have. That's what I like about the first podcast, because it ain't no rules to it yet. We just getting going, so we can keep. So the whole thing about it is this: you know how most black people say we are gods, right? We've been hearing it a long time. Black people say we the first people, right?
Yeah.
Most black people say we are the God. Jesus was black, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you $1 million question, Mr. Rhymes. I'm gonna see if you're gonna answer this on the Pattern Disruption podcast. If God was black, what color was the devil?
If God was black.
If God is black and he created all things, what color was the devil?
I need a lifeline on this, y'all.
Huh?
No, I ain't say that. If God was black, the devil had to be black too.
Wow. Boom. So we got the capabilities of being the best of people and the worst.
That's so real. Did y'all hear what he just said? Well, we got a couple people still on
listen. It could be 1, 2, 3. Because whether we have 50,000 or 3 people online, get what we do know. That ain't gonna change the anointing that God is causing us to have in this conversation. So I asked that question to say, we as black people can be our best, the best, and we can be the worst, the worst. Look at all these niggas, man, glorifying, riding on their ops, blasting at niggas. Man, y'all niggas chump, man. All I hear is a bunch of niggas scared to fight. Whenever somebody talking about how many times they done rolled past somebody or hanging out the window shoe, you so scared. Because see, where I'm from, we used to go to the mud hole. Like, when you got a problem with somebody, we go deep down in the bush and we just fight.
Yeah.
So now, and I'm not condoning violence, but what I'm saying is we got to be sick. We got to be a sick race of people to actually, you go viral talking about what OG person be talking about, the booty game. OG person.
Yeah.
A man sitting up 50-something years old talking about gang violence, and he supposed to be an elder. And this is what he talking about in prison, how they used to go. That don't enthuse. Nothing about prison enthuse me. When I hear niggas talk about that, I just walk off. I don't want to hear no shit about no prison, man. So we got people like that we take, and they go viral talking about the booty gang talking about this and talking about that and talking about, man, we rode on ops. We talking about old block and all that bullshit right there. And nobody own no block. Don't even have 2 houses. These niggas shoot.
We're talking about old block and don't nobody own no block.
No block. Old block, nobody own no block. So you say to yourself, that's why when I sit around my people that I know, white folk, they say, well, you know what, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is what one of my bankers told me. You know what the conversation around the table of white people is? The worst enemy of a black man is another black man.
Worst enemy of a black man is another black man.
Is another black man. Because the only way a white person or a person that we consider our ops, if that's what we want to call it, not saying I'm calling it that, but they have to send somebody to us to soften us up with a familiar face. They call that a setup. Most of the time in the streets, they use a woman for a setup.
Listen, man, you got so much game. We got to do a part 2. If y'all put a 1 in the chat, if we need to do a part 2, where our
I'm gonna give some real game. They listen to me long enough. I'm gonna show them how to go make $20,000.
Listen, I already know. So that we getting a bunch of hearts, man. So you've been kicking some major game for an hour, man. I gotta stop this recording and send it in so to have enough time to hold on one second. Oh yeah, so I got about 10 ones over here. So definitely you got an audience. It's a bunch of hearts, man. Listen, we didn't this podcast was with Stacii Adams, man. I appreciate everybody being here. Look, it was so much game in that hour. I got so much to cut up. We gotta get to moving, but I appreciate everybody being here. Stacii Adams, I'm gonna get back with you soon, man. Let's talk. I want to go over this and see how we can make this even bigger and better. I'm checking out, brother. I appreciate you. You already know. One love. Dave been in the house the whole time.
Tell my boy Dave, I'm gonna call him Super Dave. That ain't Dave, Super Dave.
Listen, we got to get on the call together, man, because we got some big things coming up. I just told you one of the things that I'm gonna be doing down south. But let's get together, brother. I love you, bro. Peace. Thanks for coming through. For sure. All right.